Hey folks, Job Lot Comics here, having a look at an old image book. This is Wildcats Covert Action Teams. This is the source book, which is just a kind of, it's like a documentary. It's a documentary in comic book form. This is foiled. Can you see the foil? Yep. And it's also embossed, so you can feel the embossed. It's cardstock paper on the cover. You can see the embossment there, and it's a series of splash pages by different artists doing their thing, with some lettering that is pretty much impossible to read at this stage. They just didn't get the colouring right on a lot of these things. But if you were a fan of Wildcats, or if you were a fan of Image Comics at the time, you would have probably enjoyed picking this up and then just having a wee look at the art and the text. It's okay when it's like white on black like that, but you'll see later in here, it's just a nightmare to read. Some nice double page splashes here. Sorry about the glare. There we go, and I think each one of these has got a different artist on it. If you scan around, you'll probably see who it is. And then there's this tiny lettering, which nobody could read. And let's face it, nobody probably could be bothered reading it anyway. Yeah, so it's just a sort of... I mean, look, there's actually lettering on that. Can you see that? Why would they do that? Anyway, Wildcat's part of that whole image cabal of creators that turned their back on DC and Marvel, were fed up the restricted nature of their editorials, and decided that if they were going to create some characters, then they were going to own them themselves. Yeah, and you know, they were quite right too. Apart from Spawn though, maybe Savage Dragon, very few of these things did very much afterwards. The likes of Wildcats here eventually became part of Wildstorm Studios, and the likes of Todd and Eric and Rob, I don't know, they all fall out with each other, and they couldn't get the books out in time, and there was a bit of squabbling, and yeah, a brilliant idea, and it was, you know, hugely newsworthy at the time. But yeah, I guess the centre couldn't hold. Todd just went on to do toys and stuff, as far as I know. I know Spawn and that still comes out, but I mean, I think the readership is really low in things like the Savage Dragon, and Image still do an awful lot of good work, but yeah, it is very indie based, and let's face it, they never really achieved the high standards and the high sales that they did back in the 90s. Gosh, the 90s was just bizarre. Here's an issue of Wildcats here I found, and it's under the Wildstorm label. I think DC bought them out. But again, you know, it's okay, but it never really set the world on fire, did it? I know they've got some Image, they still do some great sort of short issue runs of different stories, and a lot of sci-fi and horror and all that kind of stuff. But gosh, do you remember them? Remember them doing X-Men? Do you remember X-Men 1 with Rob Liefeld? And do you remember Spawn 1? And do you remember... Oh my gosh, it was a different time, wasn't it? Anyway, you get these for like 50 cents. Have a look around for them. Pick them up just for the hell of it, and then subscribe to this channel and let me know your thoughts on Image, Wildstorm and all that jazz. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Subscribe.